Chapter 1. Far, Far Away. One warm Floridian evening, I was running back from Fort Lauderdale Beach, where I go to meditate sometimes. It was around 8 p.m. and it was dark. I was listening to podcasts as my body moved at a steady pace. As I ran, I noticed a few couples holding hands. I felt love, peace, and unity in the air, magnified by the incredible weather and the ocean breeze. When I started running along one of the bridges connected the beach to the main city, I noticed headphones, sneakers, a cell phone, and the keys scattered on the ground. I looked up, and there was a young, slender woman on the rail of the bridge, ready to jump. I stopped in my tracks and immediately grabbed her by my hand. "What are you doing, beautiful?" I asked her. She was shaking uncontrollably, and tears were running down her face. "Nobody cares," she uttered, sobbing with pain in her voice and face. "Why don't you come down the rail so we can talk?" I pleaded without letting go of her hand. She refused and continued to cry. I held on to her. I asked her a few basic questions to understand if anything tragic has happened with her family, personal life, or at work. She replied no to everything and also denied being under the influence of drugs and alcohol. She seemed sober to me. I can't remember exactly what I was telling her. I just kept talking, trying to find something that would resonate with her and make her laugh. Eventually, she started to open up to a conversation. She told me she was 25 years old and that she lived and worked in the area. Nothing specific from her life put up a red flag. She seemed to have a normal life. She had a family with siblings, cousins, and nephews. Her parents were alive and well. She had a job and was not in any harmful relationships. On the surface, everything seemed fine. But she confessed that she had been feeling extreme loneliness and sadness for a few years now. "Nobody gives a damn about me. The world is such a dark place," she kept repeating. "That is not true," I said softly. "I care. Why would I be here with you if I didn't?" That visibly puzzled her, and she started to pay more attention to my words. "How do you know everyone is having a perfect life except for you?" I inquired. Instagram. I read about the misconception with millennials and younger generations, but here in front of me was living proof. This young woman was suffering from unfair comparisons and perfections that social media creates in an untrained mind. All the rising suicide rate statistics flashed in my memory. Chills went up my spine from seeing it in action. I asked her again to come off the rail, but she refused. Then I pretended I would climb up to her so we can talk, which made her to come down immediately. She collapsed on the ground. Her body was shaking from crying so hard. She was shattered mentally and emotionally. At the same moment, a car stopped and the driver inside the vehicle asked if we needed help. I didn't know what to say. I had never been in a situation like this. In my head, I wished for police to arrive. I didn't dare say it out loud because I was afraid of scaring her. Instead, I shrugged my shoulders and drew my attention back to the young lady. The driver laughed. The young woman in front of me was experiencing so much emotional pain, confusion, and hopelessness. According to her, she felt miserable while everyone else was living a happy life. Her family, her friends, her co-workers didn't care about her. She felt insignificant and small in a cold, big world. To my surprise, in some way, she resembled me 8 years prior on the 51st floor of the balcony of the luxury condo. I felt like I was relieving my own pain and confusion. Only this time, I had the answer, especially when she asked hopelessly, "What is the point of life?" You will need to get the book and continue reading, and I'll be very happy to see what was the influence from this story and what are the takeaways from the chapter 1 and the whole book Next Level You. Tomorrow we'll be sharing the chapter 2.